We're back. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys could hear it well. So anyway, yeah, that was Ridge and Yamara. If you didn't know, you gotta love them. You know, the innkeeps. Yeah, and they're basically explaining the situation that they're having in the South. It kind of sounds like, you know, they're having a bit of trouble. So it may be something that, you know, wayward and brave adventurers might be able to handle.
They're looking a little. It sounds like they're looking for some help to fix a negative situation that they're dealing with in the South with lost merit. It doesn't sound like the business is going too well, and obviously, by what they're saying, they don't have time to handle it other than just try to get the business up and running. So they need somebody to kind of take that over for them, but they don't have time to do the interview process. So it sounds like they're going to start asking some of their old friends to seek out some NPCs to find out who's going to replace the current NPCs that are not doing so well. So you might want to keep that in mind.
Be interesting to see if they have any trouble with those people too down there.
They might.
Well, you know, I hear there are a lot of interesting people that live in southern Merdania. You know, a few of them have been met in the past, and, you know, they're always a strange bunch down there out in the wilderness. So it'll be interesting, nonetheless. So other than that, are there any questions anybody posed about that?
Oh, yep. Flynn said, well, Justine said, aw. Logan said, Ridge, it's time. And Flynn says, that was so sweet, I now have diabetes.
It was. It was a hit right to the veins, man.
Yeah, watch out. LARPing might be bad for your health.
Might be awesome for your health too.
Yeah.
I mean, 5,000 calories in one weekend, that's a lot.
They have a smell in the southern parts.
They definitely do. It's kind of like mud and hog. You know?
Yeah. As long as it's not swampy smell, I think we'll all be all right with it.
He's on the other side of Kings Lake, right? The other side.
You might still be able to smell them, though.
Yeah.
From that distance, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Please keep the draft downwind.
Hanging out in Black Marsh, that's where Swampy lives.
So as always, we hang out in the cave and we think and we write and we look over what everybody else has written and we say, that's terrible, mine's the best. And then we fight over it and we scratch and we claw and we dig. I lost an eye. This one's glass, by the way. And we debate over our rule book constantly. And we want to refine it, and we want it to be as good as it possibly can be. Our rules system, our mechanics. So needless to say, we have made some revisions, some improvements that we feel is going to enhance everybody's experience as a player character. Most every class got a little bit of tweaks. Some were just, you know, grammar tweaks to like the powers, so that way they're easier to understand what the confines of what the power actually does mechanically. And then some things, some powers were kind of completely flipped to where they're doing the same thing thematically, but it might be a little bit better, you know, for you as a player to be able to access those powers in a little bit more fun.
Yeah, some different changes that we made makes a little more sense for like if you're chaining powers together, you know, you want to combo some stuff or taking that away. Some of it has a lot to do with just enhancing like opportunity to use the power too. More availability and more practical use to those abilities.
And giving you guys, the players, the freedom to play the type of characters you want to play. We didn't want somebody to feel like they're stuck in a role being a damage dealer if they want to be that battle controller.
Exactly.
You know, giving it more opportunity for those sort of plays and circumstances.
Because ultimately that's what we want, is we want you guys to be able to make the character that you want to play and you want to be, rather than so much in the confines. It gives you a lot more availability to spread out and kind of diversify. So it's you can make something that's a lot more unique.
Yeah, and everything we do with our powers and all that stuff, the game mechanics, we try to keep three principles in mind. Balance, theme, and simplicity. And we try to keep those as coherently together in our rule system as possible. So we don't want to overcomplicate things. We want to stay within, you know, the thing that makes each class awesome. And obviously we don't want anything to be like crazy overpowered or able to be stacked on top of itself to where it's like, you know, easy to manipulate to where, you know, nothing's a challenge anymore, or any classes become a one-trick pony.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you know, where it's one of those things where it's, what am I trying to say?
A developing process.
It's a labor of passion.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And so with that, I know we're talking it up a lot right now, but unfortunately we won't be giving it to you, anything to look at, until April 2nd.
Yeah.
So sorry to be a bit of a tease, but that's when we'll be ready to put that in front of you. We had a bit more changes than we anticipated. We wanted to get it to you by this time, but it looks like you'll have to wait till April 2nd. It will give you enough time before the next event, to be able to, look over it a little bit. And if you need, we're open to allowing for, rewrites of characters. If, you see something that's changed and maybe you're like, wow, oh, I really want to pick that up. I would have picked this up if, I would have known, or something like that, and so we're just kind of opening that up to where if you feel that you want to rewrite for your character, that you can work with us, and we'll try to accommodate as best we can.
Because again, it's here for you to enjoy yourself. So if there's a better opportunity for you to enjoy yourself, it'd be applicable. And that being said, if you're a warrior class and there's a mage class, so you have a character that you've been playing to level 5, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to completely rewrite it to be a full mage, but you can change some of the powers within that you had already have had access to.
Yeah, because it wasn't as sweeping as our last release. Our last release changed everything.
Yeah.
So we were basically like, you have to rewrite your character because nothing's the same.
Yeah, this is more of a chisel and refinement.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we said, some of the classes got barely touched. I would say the major class that may have gotten the most tweak would have been Bard, but the rest of the classes were much more refinement levels. I mean, things like Rogue, I think only one power got changed in the whole class. So it's a lot of work that we put into it, and so we want it to be in that perfect structure before we release it to you guys. But
Yep.
So
So
I was gonna say, Logan said, "Is Kyle kidding?" That's what I was laughing at. So.
I'm
Unfortunately,
always
there is a lot of changes that we had to make and didn't have time to complete it to get it to you guys when we wanted to, but we'll get it to you as soon as we can.
Yeah. So that way you'll have at least some time to look over it and what you want to change before the event. That way you'll be ready to rock and roll once you get there.
and you can't rush perfection, folks. All right. Well, does anybody have any questions over that, even though we're not putting anything on the table?
No, the only other comment was that what Swee said, as long as he doesn't die, he's good with whatever changes we make. So.
Right. Well, that's never promised. So,
right.
So yeah, if you guys are, as we're going on through this stuff, if you find something that you want to comment on, don't wait for us to get done talking. Comment because of the delay, so that way we're ready to hit it once we're done with the topic.
Isn't Swee working towards the Lich power anyway? So wouldn't that technically mean
He's
is
going to die.
Dude,
you have to die.
Yeah.
So,
He's gonna undie. That's what it is.
Undie?
Undie. Become
He's a
deathless.
Hyundai undie.
All right. So now, like we said, we've been working on a lot, and we haven't just been focusing on the things that we've been focusing on in the past. We've been broadening our perspective on how we're working and what we're working towards. So we're actually looking to release a few different books. Not just like our core rule book, which is pretty much always what it has been, but we've been working on what we're calling like our player guide. We're also working on a campaign guide, which we're calling Lord of the Black Flame, which is essentially based off of that first major story arc that we had leading up to the confrontation with Lord Maxis. We're actually going to be putting that into a comprehensive what we're calling campaign path.
Yeah. So not only that, but other people that are going to be picking up this will play a game based off of the decisions and the things that you guys made. Not only that, but you guys can pick up the book and look at all the path choices and the fun elements that existed within it. So you can actually look at this campaign guide and be like, man, I remember doing that. I was part of this. I was part of that.
That
So
relive thing will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And even for us, we're excited to be able to have all the lore elements that come into place and things like that. That even though it's a 72 hours of gameplay every weekend, there's no way we can cover everything that goes into these stories.
Yeah.
Back lore, who is what character, what enemy, and if you guys pick up that book, you can see what all that was about.
And a lot of what's going to go into it, you're going to see that your choices as player characters, for those of you who were able to attend, really help shape what this is going to become.
Yeah.
So. It's just neat to see that in this hobby that we're a part of and we all love is something to where, it can grow together as a story not just one person reads and puts down, but it's something we're all developing together.
Yeah.
So along with that, we also are putting together a comprehensive bestiary instead of just our own notes and whatnot. And we're actually going to be putting that together as a comprehensive tome.
And we'll be, as we said before, we do a lot of play testing in the sense of what we're doing at the events. It's all about that. So, what's going on with the bestiary is the evolution of a lot of these monsters that already exist and the ones that are going to exist, maybe you haven't seen yet. We've done a really good job of making these monsters unique and feeling, rather than just going into a mod where you're dealing with monsters with different, it's the same monster just with a different mask and different outfit. These ones are going to operate differently, feel differently, and really give you an immersive sense that this is a completely different creature that I am facing, which is going to make knowledges and things like that even more important. And not only that, but strategy. Strategy will be completely a necessary thing moving forward. You're going to see different setups that maybe have worked before for certain monsters aren't going to work for these because they function so, foreign and almost alien in nature.
And long gone, we're trying to make the days of where monsters all just feel like different size bags of HP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That may just throw different size amounts of damage back at you. So like Clay was saying, mechanically we're making these creatures or beasts very different, so they have their own style, and you're going to want to approach them in certain ways. And also, again, to stress that you as the player have really helped us be able to shape and refine that to where we've seen how you guys have responded to certain monsters and how they kind of work on the battlefield, with us bringing 50% as the monster and you guys bringing the other 50% as the adventurers, going against that. So we can see what works, what doesn't, and, how to improve.
Yeah, and as that bestiary book goes forward too, it'll incorporate a lot of stories of how these creatures developed, what they're about, what's their type of environment. That goes a lot more into what you can, again, see in a single instance or confrontation with a creature that you might only face one every 3 or 4 events.
Yeah. And when we do go to print for the bestiary, go ahead and pick it up for the lore aspect and everything. Don't pick it up to cheat. That's what knowledges are for.
Yeah. And so for our events, we're actively pushing forward with our events, just as strong, if not stronger than before, to have those.
Still we'll have 4 a year.
Still 4
That's
a year.
The plan.
Yeah. And a digital gathering. And anyway, so we'll be having those still constantly, and like I said, we'll be, doing those better than we have before from all we've learned and accumulated, and, all the players that, keep attending each and every game, when they can. And so we're also looking for folks who want to, help with those events. We always have our doors wide open. It's free XP for you, to be able to come if you want to.
Free food.
Free food,
Yep.
free lodging.
Yeah. You get to have a great time at the event. Just because you're not being a player doesn't mean, going out and experiencing the story from the other side can't be just as fun, because it definitely can be.
I don't know, Jeremiah, what do you think?
Well, I can definitely speak to that. Yeah. I mean, I went only 2 times, 2 events as a player, and from there I'm like, okay, I want to see the other side of this. And from there I was hooked. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Staffing is, it can be just as much fun, for sure.
Absolutely.
And also, like if you're looking to maybe build up a character to bring in, you don't want him to come in at level 1, you want him to come in at a later level or something like that. That's a great way to go about doing that. So, we're always looking for help. for those individuals who would, wouldn't mind being a part of staff. Also, one other thing, this is what I was trying to think of, is it's also a really good way if you're looking to maybe do a rewrite, like you want to try a different character out. Instead of just making a new character and committing yourself to him for a day or the whole weekend, you can try out different mechanical play styles as being staff before you make a character. So like you could try out, playing caster characters, more melee-oriented characters, ranged characters, stuff like that. So we can put you in those positions of being able to play those NPCs, so you know what it's kind of like to play that before you actually commit to making a character,
Right.
Based around those combat mechanics.
We getting some
Yeah,
comments?
Yeah, Logan wanted to know how much you're paying me to say that. But no, honestly, like it's it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, like being able to experience so many different play styles, like you said, just being able to get more a varied experience out of the whole thing rather than just staying in one character the whole time. I know that people like that and that's what they go for, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But for me, it was really cool to just be able to put on different hats and try different stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
The one thing that we do want to mention is that you are required to have played one event with us before we would ask you to NPC, just so you know how intense the world is as it's such. Because as intense as it is for a player, add the fact that you are changing between several different roles, and that intensity is still there, that excitement, that thirst for the unknown still remains even as an NPC.
And that way, because especially with our LARP, because we are a very physically intensive LARP too. We're just all the aspects of it. So that is one thing as a staff member. You're probably going to see a lot more combat dealing, as a staff member. So that's something else to keep in
Not
mind.
to mention climbing hills.
Yeah, because as a player, you can. I'll opt out of that fight. Most likely, as a staff, you're like, I need you in that fight. It's one of the passions. So and I think anybody that plays staff is never complained about it. They've always had a great time. So they it is much fun, if not more, sometimes as an example of being staff than player. So it just but that's like you said before. It's a great way to gain XP. Every day that you're a staff member, you gain XP. So and you don't have to use it for an existing character. You can use it for a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And you can save it for if you NPC for one event every year for the next 3 years. You can save all that till you want to bring
as
that
long as you want.
Yep, I've got like 1 million XP banked.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, well, are there any questions? We want to show you a video now, but I want to see if there's any questions or anything we can respond to. Oh,
Should we
there's
go? Yeah, something.
Kelly Zonch says, yeah, it works. So
Cool.
Great question. It
Well,
does work.
You're just in time. Enjoy the show.